I'm Barry Tramel, and I say the school most affected by Will Muschamp's change of job is Texas.
I'm going to go with his new home, the Florida Gators. From the Opoko Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson. Barry, this move is obviously a blow to Texas. Will Muschamp, the coach in waiting, now the new head coach at Florida, it's got ripples everywhere. I think it's the biggest in Florida, but you think it's bigger in Texas.
Well, I think Florida was going to be fine no matter who they hired. The Gators, despite the Ron Zook era, the Gators have been a solid national power from now going on 20 years. And Steve Spurrier, Urban Meyer, didn't really seem to matter who was coaching them as long as it wasn't Ron Zook. I think Will Muschamp, Bob Stoops, whoever they threw in there was going to be fine. But Muschamp leaving Texas has the Longhorns reeling because the coaching staff was in upheaval anyway. Mac Brown had replaced 3 assistants already, and Texas could at least embrace its defense. That Texas defense was still very solid this year. The offense stunk, turned the ball over excessively, but that defense was solid. The future looked very bright with Will Muschamp. Now Will is gone, may take some more assistants with him. Now the Texas football program is in total disarray. I think the Longhorns are going to miss Will Muschamp.
Maybe Texas needed an overhaul. Maybe it was time for a switch and some changes on the coaching staff. People were asking for Greg Davis's firing, demanding Greg Davis's firing. He did step down last week, so they got that in Longhorn land. But maybe Texas needs a bit of a coach overhaul. Maybe this is a good thing that they kind of get to start from scratch and do some new things. Clearly, things weren't working. You didn't have the talent level. The recruiting didn't seem to be maybe what it has been in the past, not having the great playmakers, not having that great all-around talent that you expect Texas to have. And I tell you what, replacing Urban Meyer at Florida wasn't going to be an easy task. It isn't going to be an easy task for Will Muschamp, but I think his personality is going to be one that Florida fans can embrace. Very fiery, obviously defensive-minded. Barry, I think this is a great hire for Florida. I think fans and I think their entire school is really going to like Will Muschamp.
Well, I think it is a home run hire for Florida as well. I love it when big-time powers hire assistant coaches, up-and-coming assistant coaches. I think far too often in college football, schools just rely on an established head coach. The crutch of head coach experience. Some of the great coaches of all time arrived on the scene without head coaching experience. Here in Oklahoma, we can start with the big 3, Bud Wilkinson, Barry Switzer, Bob Stoops. None were head coaches before they were elevated to the job. I love the hire of Will Muschamp at Florida. I think he's going to do great. I think Texas is going to recoil. I think Texas was facing a massive rebuilding job, even with Will Muschamp. Now I think that that rebuilding job probably gets pushed back another year or so at least. So I think the Longhorns are going to miss this guy who really invigorated their defense and who really cast a bright light for the future. We haven't even talked about the fact that this is the guy they anointed the heir apparent. This was the prince. This was the guy that was going to ascend to the throne. All that is gone now. Texas in massive disarray.
Well, and I have a feeling that Will Muschamp probably looked around and thought, you know, this is a season Texas doesn't make a bowl, and there's maybe a little bit of rumbling that Mac Brown should go, but it's not sort of an out-and-out, you know, he must go cry. I think Will Muschamp probably saw that if he was to be the head coach, he was going to have to wait quite a while because Mac Brown doesn't seem as though he's a guy that wants to step away from head coaching anytime soon. I think Will Muschamp was ready to be a head coach, ready to command his own ship. Now he gets that chance at Florida. I think that he's going to do fantastically down there. I think he's going to be able to recruit a very rich state. I have no doubt that they're going to play some great defense again at Florida, and it won't take any time before he's got him going in that direction. It's just going to be really fun to see what he does and how quickly he's able to do it. I think you could see sort of a renewed Florida even as early as next year. The talent, it's rich down there. He's going to go get it. I think he's the type of guy that is going to build a great staff around him. It's going to be energetic. It's going to be youthful. I think you're going to see Florida get some big dividends from this hire. It has ripples both ways. I think it's a great ripple headed towards Florida. I stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.